All right. Well, we are going to go ahead and get started. So my name is Brooks Burnett. Thank you so much for attending or watching the replay of this webinar. So again, my name is Brooks Burnett. I'm the owner of a marketing agency called Remodel Reach Marketing, and today we're going to go over what makes up a website that builds authority in your community. Okay, so for home remodelers, so this is all in regards to home remodeling contractors, and so we're going to take a look at the pieces that make up a website that builds your authority as a contractor and helps people move from just being a website visitor to becoming paying customers. Okay, so it all starts on the website. Not necessarily all start, but that's where most people start whenever they're first reaching out, maybe trying to learn more. And so we're going to take a look at websites today. So let me go ahead and share the screen here so we can go ahead and get started. So let's pull up our slides here so we can get started. Now, we're not going to be spending a lot of time in the slides here per se, but we are going to be jumping back and forth between the slides as well as a website. So again, so the title of this webinar is creating a responsive website for remodelers, how to create this website that gets people to do something. So how do we build your authority? How do we get people to recognize your authority on your website and move forward in the pipeline here? Um, so a quick agenda. So we're going to talk about what is the main purpose of a website. So this is something that a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of contractors don't fully understand because they think, well, we have a business, so we have a website, that's it, right? But we're going to take a look at the purpose of a website, and it will make websites and understanding them very simple, very simple. And so we're going to talk about the best types of content for your website. And then we're going to talk about how to convert visitors into leads. So we're going to talk about how to take people from being a visitor and how to make them become a lead right from your website. All right. So before we get into it, we need to look at a few rules or a few things that in marketing that are basically laws that go into websites. So number one, studies have shown that most people spend an average of 10 to 20 seconds on your website, and it takes that time to grab their attention when they first come to your site. Okay. So studies have shown that this is worded incorrectly, but studies have shown that you have about 10 to 20 seconds to grab someone's attention and to do what we are going to go over here. So all of this whole workshop here is really focused on this one rule right here. If most people spent 5 minutes on your site, this whole webinar would be completely different, and all these rules would be completely different. But everything that we're going to go over today is with the understanding that you only have about 10 to 20 seconds to grab someone's attention and to give them the necessary information that they need. Okay. So another rule is that we are giving our website visitors the tools that they need to move forward down the pipeline. Okay, so again, we have a website visitor who comes in, they've never heard of us, they're just looking for a bathroom remodeler, but they've never heard of our company before. What do they need? What do they need from us or from you as the contractor? What do they need from you in order to take those next steps? Okay, so think about that. Whenever we go to a website and we're looking for, a T-shirt, or I don't know, like we're looking for information, we always have tools that are given to us to take that next step whenever you're purchasing something online. Okay, so think of it as giving your website visitors tools. Each piece is like a tool you're giving them to take those next steps. And so let's go back here. All right, so what is the purpose of a website? So let's get into it. So understanding this can help you to, like I said, make the whole process of building and creating a website very simple. Okay. And so the purpose of a website, there are actually two of them. The first purpose is giving information, telling your website visitors who you are and what you do. Okay, who you are, what you do. And so in terms of remodeling contractors, you're telling them who you are as the business owner, what so all of the information that entails, who you are, how long you've been in business, information about your business, information about the industry, and just giving them knowledge. And then what you do is describing your services, showing pictures of your services, showing videos, walkthroughs, different things that can help them to understand who you are and what you do. So the first purpose of your website, giving information. And so like I said though, that information can be in a few different ways, right? So that's the first purpose. Second purpose is going to be what you want or what your website visitors need to do. So the first one is the first purpose, giving information. Second purpose, creating leads. Okay, your website should not just be filled with pictures and good information. It should give your website visitors information, but then also tell them what to do. So they need to have something to do on their website or on your website. You need to say, hey, you know what our services are. Now take that information and call us and submit a quote or submit a request for a quote, fill out our form, contact us, email us, whatever it may be for you. But you're giving them the information and then saying, okay, now it's your turn, now you do something. And so whenever you take a look at websites and you analyze your own website, that understanding this rule here makes it way more simple, makes it a lot more simple, because you're just giving them information and then telling them what to do with that information. Okay. And so let's take a look here. Well, so before we do that, before we jump into looking at an example here, so again, we're trying to inform our visitors. So looking at the first purpose, informing your visitors. So what type of content should you have on your site? Well, obviously, as a contractor, as a remodeling contractor, you want to have pictures of your work. Okay, pictures and videos of your work, right? But that's not it. Okay, 99% of remodelers that I have seen, maybe even more, like 99.5% of remodelers just have their website filled with pictures uh, of their work. Okay, so a lot of them, some of them have videos, not very many, but some have videos. And then the rest of them also have pictures of themselves as the owner, pictures or videos of themselves as the owner. So a very, very small percentage of people have pictures of themselves as the owner on the home page of the site. It might be buried somewhere in the site, like in the About Us page or Meet the Team section, and that's fine. But you need to have a picture of yourself as the owner or a video of some kind, something that just puts your face out there. And the reason why this is important is because whenever we are looking at home remodeling, remodeling is a personal it's a personal service, right? You as the owner, and especially your team, they're going to be working with this individual, with this prospect, with this client for potentially months, right? Depending on the scope of the project and different things like that. But they're going to be working with them for a very long time. And so having pictures of yourself, having pictures of your team is going to be very important. And what it can do is start to go ahead and build that trust, build that rapport with the people in your community, the people who come to your website. It can go ahead and start building that trust because they see you and they see who they're going to be hiring, who they're going to be calling, who they're going to be uh, uh, corresponding with. So if, let's just say, for example, they come to your site and they go to 5 of your competitors' websites, and your website has a picture of you, has pictures of your team, has videos, excuse me, has videos of you explaining things to your visitors, and the other websites just have before and afters, yours is going to stand out. Yours is going to stand out because it's more personal and it's more, you're trying to connect directly with the individual, with the person who's coming to your site. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And so before we talk about these, I want to go ahead and let's look at an example website. So this is one of our clients here, and this is their website. So right when we come in, we've got good pictures. So what are we trying to do? Again, we're trying to inform and then take the next steps. Inform, take the next steps. Here's who we are, website visitor, and then here's what you need to do. Okay, so we have right at the top of the page, we've got the owner of the business who is giving us a description of the business. And this is on autoplay. So as soon as we come into this website, it will play automatically. Okay, so that way, as someone's scrolling, it will come up here. And so then as we scroll and continue, there's more videos. This owner definitely likes to do videos. And I'm not saying you have to do videos or they have to be super professional or anything like that, but having just a picture, a simple picture of you or your team, or preferably both you and your team on the site can just make a world of difference. Like, believe me, it really can. And so, again, so kind of going back, getting away from that. So we're trying to inform and we're trying to move forward. Inform the visitor, here are the next steps. Inform, move along. So here we go. So what we offer, we've got all of our different services, right? With pictures that correspond with them. We've got information, then we've got, here are the next steps. Request your phone consultation, whatever it may be for you, okay? So down here, request a consultation. It's always up here in the corner. Then we've got a call to action for YouTube. We'll get to calls to action here in a minute. But same thing, inform, next steps. Inform, and then here's a view gallery. Inform, another video of a walkthrough, next steps. Inform, next steps. And so I hope it's clear. I think it's clear. And so again, it's not that complicated, right? You're just giving them information about who you are, what you do, and then saying, here is what you need to do. Okay. And so let's go back and let's talk a little bit more about the content, about what specifically, oops, getting ahead of ourselves here. What specifically do we need to add to our website? So you need to have descriptions of your services. Okay, descriptions. And now that can be written descriptions, or it can be pictures. Okay, so going back to our example here. So we've got a discrepancy here. You know, most people understand the difference between decks and patios, but some people might not. And so, you know, we have pictures to describe what each one is. So you've got deck installation, you've got deck building, deck installation, and patio building, right? And so you can have descriptions here, you can have pictures of your services, but preferably both. You should preferably have both. but your services need to be listed out on the front page. And again, pictures are a quick way to both showcase your work and to give a description of the service itself. Okay. So there needs to be some kind of about us section. All right. And then awards and recognition. This can be the same thing. So on the homepage, need to have something about you, something about you. So you can have either a written about us section with a picture or have a video, preferably a video. Okay. You should not be afraid of video. You need to actually make video your friend, because what can you do with video? This is kind of getting off topic, but what can you do with video? You can record about us sections, or about us informational videos. You can do what to expect videos. You can do next step videos. You can do all of these things that can help you to build your authority. Build your authority as the knowledge expert and as just the remodeling expert in the area. So also you can do walkthroughs like we have here, where the owner is describing what he's doing or what they did, giving the reasons for everything. And so you can do walkthroughs and showing, hey, this is why we're an authority, because we know how to use this and we know how to do that and blah blah blah. And so it can just greatly help you to, again, just build that authority on your website, just straight from your website. Okay. And so awards and recognition is another thing. Have them somewhere. Okay, but don't make them the focal point of your website. I do see that sometimes, where some websites, some remodeling contractor websites, they kind of have their awards kind of just displayed very largely at the top of the website, and that's good, but people aren't going there to see your awards. They want to see your work, then they want to see your awards. They want to see what you do, and then your awards. So have your awards somewhere down at the bottom. Okay. So let's keep on going here. And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna jump back and forth between the slide and the example website. And so now let's talk about, we've given them the information, so let's move them forward. Let's move them along. So we don't want people to just come to our website and say, wow, these are great pictures, and then leave. We don't want that. We want them to move forward. We want them to enter our funnel, right? And so how do you do this? How do you do this? You use call to action, okay? So you use calls to action. And so a call to action is simply a button, a link, or a statement compelling the visitor to do something. So you're telling your website visitor, hey, you know who we are, you know what we do. Here you go. Here's the next step. Do this, call us, email us, different things like that. So here are a few different tips when it comes to calls to action. So you have to tell your website visitors what to do. You can never assume, or you should never assume, that they immediately know what to do. The number one reason why people come to a website and then bounce, or they just leave, they're interested, they call or they click on your website, but then they leave, is confusion. Okay, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And again, you only have about 10 to 20 seconds. All of this that we're going over, about 10 to 20 seconds on your website. So keep that in mind. So you have to make you have to make it overly clear on what you want your website visitors to do. Okay, overly clear. And so it needs to be everywhere throughout your site. Everywhere. If you want people to fill out your form, then your form needs to be at the top of your website and at the bottom. If you want your visitors to call you, your phone number with a link directly to call, because most people are going to come to your website on their phone, it needs to be everywhere throughout your site. And we're going to go over it here in a second. And the last thing to consider is what we call the room rule, or the one room rule. And what this is it's your call to action, but it is understanding that your call to action needs to be big, bright, and stand out. And so what that means, and why this is called the room rule, is if I were to put this computer completely flush with the wall, put this screen flush with the wall, and I were to go and stand on the other side of this room, it's not a very big room, but if I were to stand on the other side of the room or further, and I looked at your website, would I be able to point out, hey, there is the call to action. It's right there. I can see it from that far of a distance. If that's not the case, then you need to change it. Okay. And so let's go again and visit this example website here. And so keeping in mind the one room rule, okay, the one room rule. So a call to action, can we determine what the call to action is from scrolling through the website? Yes. Okay. If we were to stand on the other side of the room, would we be able to point out that's what I should click on? Yes. Okay. And is this button gaudy? Is it tacky? No. Okay. It's not. And so you can have calls to action on your website, even if you're like an interior designer and you want to have a very professional website, you can still have calls to action fit into your website in a manner that is still visually appealing. Okay. And so, again, never assume that your visitors know what to do. Okay, so your calls to action need to be very clear all throughout your website. So if you notice, as we're scrolling, the same call to action is all throughout the website. It's we keep going. We sometimes have different ones, right? Like the subscribe to YouTube. Uh, but it's the same call to action as we continue scrolling, keep scrolling, same thing. Phone consultation, right? And so and then when we get to the bottom, we have a brief little form here. And so again, it's not too complicated. You just have to be clear on your calls to action here, and you have to be clear on what you want them to do, settle on what you want them to do, and then just tell them. Again, it's not rocket science. You just have to tell them, hey, you know what we do. You're ready for our services, so now call us. Here's our phone number. Okay. And so the next portion that we're going to talk about is your website structure. So these are kind of just some tips to help your website kind of be more visually appealing. And people are complicated these days. They want information quickly, but at the same time, they don't want just big blocks of text, or anything like that, even though it's like all in a small area so they could read it. They want it broken up. So the best practices for website structure change as time moves on. But anyway, so using colors and pictures to separate the content. So having separate sections of each piece of content is always going to be best practice. So separating it through colors and pictures and different things like that, or videos, can help you to separate your content and separate your website. So again, calls to action at the top, at least at the top, a phone number at the top, your call to action at the top rather, and your phone number in the corners, if nothing else. People like to look in the corners because that's where most calls to action are. So put your phone number in the corner, have a call to action button in the corner, or at least calls to action throughout the site as well. And so the other thing is that you can make it work on your site. You can make your website have all of these things that we've gone over today, and you can make them look visually appealing. You can do that. It's not hard to add a call to action on your site. right? It's not difficult to do that, or add a picture of yourself to your site, add a video to your site. But it will make a world of difference when it comes to people who come to your site and are looking for someone to fulfill their services, fulfill their needs with that. So I did want to take a look here again at the different sections that we've got here in this example. So you can see here, big picture showing the title, and giving the information here. And so then as we scroll down, you can see these sections are separated by different content. All right. So we've got the about us, they've got titles, and then they're separated by color. So here's another indicator of a new section. And then we've got another section here. And then as we keep scrolling, we have a divider of a picture dividing up the website. So it's not all crammed into a tiny area, right? The content is not crammed together. It's all spread out in a visually appealing manner that flows and it works, and they all work together here. And so that's really about it. So again, there's not much to go over, because again, you've got 10 seconds, 10 to 20 seconds at the most to get someone's attention. And so leveraging that knowledge and understanding that there's not much you can, I mean, there is a lot you can do, but there's a few things that just work. So having pictures of yourself, having videos, separating your content out into visually appealing sections that give good information, and then having strong calls to action all throughout your site. All of these things can help you to build your authority, to just grow your business and show people that you are the expert in your area. So all of these different things work together to, again, help you build that authority, help you to become the go-to remodeler. And it can show people the evidence of that directly on your website. And so I know this was a quick workshop, wasn't very long, but this is one of the most important trainings that we do on your website, because your website is literally the foundation of your digital footprint. It's like your business card, or like your logo, but online, right? It's where your advertisements go when people have search engine optimization, or when you come up on Google, it's where they go. When they go to learn about you, they go to your website. And so your website is absolutely crucial. And so that's why we're kind of starting this new series in making sure your website is good to go and functional and ready to bring on leads, because the subsequent teachings that we're going to go over are based around your content and your website. So that is it. That is it for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for attending. Again, my name is Brooks Burnett, owner of Remodel Reach Marketing. We are a full service marketing agency for home remodelers. And so if you would like to speak with us about that and talk about how we can help you become the go-to remodeler in your area, then you can give us a call at 770-766-7953. And so thank you very much. And I'll see you next time. We're probably going to do the next workshop on videos and what you can use videos for in your business. And so stay tuned for that. And I will see you guys in the next one. So thank you and have a good day. Thanks. See y'all soon.